Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel and Happy New Year. It's 2023 and we're getting started on a brand new year of comics with this week's new comics haul. This is episode 93. As you can see, I don't know if you can see this, my light flashing in the background. So we just had a really big power outage across San Francisco where I live. And, my block and I think a few others were shut down for like 2 or 3 hours. So the power just came back on, so I thought I'd record this video. Hopefully it doesn't turn off again. In which case, I don't know when I'll be able to post it, but I think everything's all good now. If you guys are experiencing any problems with the weather, the huge snowstorms, rainstorms that have been happening lately, update me down in the comment section below. Hopefully you guys are all staying safe during this time in the US. But I just want to get right into this haul. This is episode 93. I went to my local comic shop a little earlier today before the rain got really serious. Luckily, I made it home from school. But here's 5 issues. These are all from Marvel Comics. There were no Image comics that actually came into the shop this week, but that was okay because I only had Marvel issues on my pull list anyway. 5 issues in total. 4 of them were on my pull list. 1 of them I just picked up off the stands. That's the first one that I'll show because this is probably the biggest release of the week. We've got Scarlet Witch #1. So this is supposed to be an ongoing series. Sometimes Marvel says that and the series ends up getting canceled after 5 or 6 issues if it doesn't sell quite as well as they'd hoped. But with this new Scarlet Witch ongoing, we really have no info on what to expect from the actual story. We do have Steve Orlando writing this, though, and the reason that I actually decided to give this a chance, because I don't really know anything about Scarlet Witch. I don't know too much about her history with Pietro, who's in here, Quicksilver. So I decided to pick it up because the artist, Sarah Pichelli, is on here, and I'm a really big fan of her artwork. It's definitely changed a lot, which is something you don't see too often. Ever since she co-created Miles Morales with Brian Michael Bendis, back in the 2010s, her, I guess, style has just really shifted. It's become more of like an inky style. It's a little bit more cartoonish. It used to be more realistic. So I'm definitely looking forward to trying this out. Let me know if you guys want to see a review of this one. I don't think I'll be able to put it out today because it's getting pretty late and there might be another power outage. We'll see about that. But Scarlet Witch #1, that's a really cool cover there by Russell Dodderman also. Do let me know if you want to see a quick review of this one. And let me know if you're picking this one up too down in the comments. But that's Scarlet Witch. Issue 1 of a new ongoing series. This next one is probably the one I'm the most excited about to read this week, though. This one is Avengers, issue number 64, and this is Avengers Assemble, part 4. So it all kicked off in Avengers Assemble Alpha #1, and since then it's been crisscrossing between issues of Avengers and Avengers Forever, which is the companion title to Jason Aaron's Avengers run, right? So this is probably my favorite storyline going on in Marvel Comics right now. Just this cover alone depicts like the epicness that's going on inside. There's some really insane stuff happening. And basically, to give you guys pretty simply, Mephisto is the main villain behind this. He's assembling his Council of Red, which is like these different versions of himself across the multiverse. They're going around to the beginning of time, the beginning of the first Avengers team, on every single universe in the multiverse and taking them out so that the Avengers never existed in any of the universes in the entire multiverse, right? So now we've got a big team of Avengers assembling from across the multiverse, the strongest of all of them, and it's becoming this just huge battle that's the biggest scale you could possibly tell a story on. It's really well done. Jason Aaron, his Avengers run in general, I wasn't too big of a fan of. I dropped it like a few months ago, maybe a year ago, but I came back on for Avengers Assemble and I do not regret it. So definitely something not too many people are picking up because not too many people are reading this run anymore, but I highly recommend this. Avengers Assemble has been great so far. The next issue on my pull list, though, this one is Spider-Man #4. Another comic where they're doing like some really big multiverse stuff, some really big stake stuff, but it's just in a regular ongoing title, right? Like Avengers is just crisscrossing between these 2 Avengers titles that no one picks up anymore. I can also think of Fantastic Four Reckoning War as an example, how that just happened in Dan Slott's Fantastic Four run. But it's like these really big multiverse-altering events that should be like events that are bigger than like Judgment Day, King in Black, stuff like that, that actually do get events. So it's a really weird thing that Marvel does here with their marketing. But we've got really good artwork in this book. This is probably my favorite part of it, by Mark Bagley, with that Spider-Man T-Rex. I don't think he's been in it since that Edge of Spider-Verse issue. So I honestly can't really remember too much of what's going on here. There's some kind of complicated stuff getting into the Spider-Verse history. But you can see on this panel, we've got like this kind of comic booky world that they're within. That's like this world between worlds. It's their hideout right now from the main villain, Shathra. And I like this Spider-Verse stuff. They've done it a few too many times, I think, with Spider-Geddon, with that Spider-Verse miniseries, the original Spider-Verse and all that. But Dan Slott is definitely the guy to tell this story if anyone can. Here's one last page of artwork. And it's been pretty good so far. I'm really just sticking through with this after the Spider-Verse story. Who knows how long they're planning on going for it. to see like what happens with this ongoing series afterwards, because I think Dan Slott is probably the best writer to ever write Spider-Man that I've read, at least, and I haven't read too much Spider-Man stuff. But if they stick with the same creative team, I think it would just be cool to see how this will work with the main Amazing Spider-Man title after this event is over, just, with monthly issues. Hopefully they do continue for a while with this, because I'm really liking it so far. The second to last issue that I've got on my pull list this week, though, another Marvel one. This is Planet Hulk Worldbreaker number 3. Awesome cover here. And to be honest, not really an awesome series so far. Greg Pak is the writer, which I was excited to hear about because he's the original writer of the original Planet Hulk. That was my childhood. I read that each and every week. I would just reread it over and over and over again, along with World War Hulk. And we've got seemingly some of the original characters on here, right? Korg is back somehow. We've got Amadeus Cho actually as the main character of this series, where he's become old. This is set 1,000 years in the future on the planet Sakaar that Bruce Banner originally was stranded on in the original Planet Hulk. And I think this is supposed to be Jen Walters' She-Hulk. We see that she's become the leader of this floating city that's kind of a paradise above everything else, the wastelands, where there's these kids that we've been following that have asked Amadeus for help. They're green-skinned. I'm forgetting the name that they give to Hulks, but the Hulks are hated and feared, unlike how the Worldbreaker Bruce Banner was so loved back in the day before Sakaar blew up for the first time. And there's some more going on in here. I think it's pretty interesting. I like the concepts behind it, but not much happens in every issue. I want to show some artwork. Forgot about that. Not much happens in every issue, and I kind of feel like it's not that well written in general. It just feels very different from the original Planet Hulk, and although you can't expect a writer to come back to something over 10 years later and do a complete, copy of the original, I still think this could be I think it still could be better done in general. So we'll see about this. I'll probably end up sticking with it because it's only 5 issues, but yeah, not the biggest fan of this so far. The last issue, though, I think this is another one I haven't heard too much about, to be honest, but this is Fantastic Four by Ryan North, issue number 3. Artwork in here is by Iban Coelho, and we got that Alex Ross cover, which is super cool. So this one is focusing on the Human Torch. Every single issue of this series so far has been focusing on 1 or 2 members of the Fantastic Four, and they haven't been the whole team together. I'm really not liking that too much so far. I know I'm being kind of negative with these last couple issues, but yeah, I really do think the Fantastic Four works better as a family. And I think it was an interesting creative decision to do these kind of one-off stories with the family split up because of this mysterious bad thing that happened, this crater that they created in New York that made them all be at odds with each other. And that does seem like an interesting idea, but coming off of such a good run that really embraced family and exploration, that just wrote all the characters well, like Dan Slott's run, I think this was not the direction to go in. We're supposed to get the family back together with issue 4, though, which works because it's Fantastic Four issue 4, right? The family back together. We'll see about that. I am looking forward to that, but for now we do have this last one-shot issue. I'm not saying these are badly written. They're definitely good. They're fun reads. I just really don't like this direction for Fantastic Four, to be honest. I also hate the new logo. Come on, the old one was so much better, especially when they had World's Greatest Comic Magazine at the top too. They got rid of that. Whatever. That's a couple complaints about that series, but for now, that's my new comics haul. 5 issues. Hope you guys are staying safe out there in this weather if you're experiencing any hardships during this time. And I appreciate you guys for still tuning in for episode 93 of my new comics haul series. Happy New Year. Here's to a good year of new comics. And I'll be coming at you guys weekly with these new uploads and hopefully some more comic reviews, stuff like that. Look out for a Scarlet Witch review if I do end up doing that. I appreciate you guys watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.